Hey guys, Dov here, back with another unit highlight for Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer today, taking a look at the Knights of the Realm for Bretonnia. Yes, unit that many people, including myself, have underrated in the past, but a very solid mid-tier, probably one of the best mid-tier shock cavalry in the game. 90 armor, 75 speed, good leadership, 68 charge bonus, which is excellent. Not the best weapon strength in comparison to other units in this class, but they do carry a plus 10 bonus versus large. So we've got two of them for this Bretonnian army here. This is a replay from my Land of the Living Flash tournament, so some of you may have seen this already, but just wanted to give you some further analysis and talk a bit more about Knights of the Realm specifically. King Lewin with some Hippogriff Knights up in the air. We've got some peasant mobs, second line of men-at-arms, Gotrek with the Damsel Lord of Life. We've also got Beaslayers of Bastogne in the back, some diverse archers. Spider Riders for the Greenskins already pushing out to the flank there. We've got a big spider here in the center, the Queen even. Wurzag, a couple of stone trolls, nasty skulkers, orc biggins, a wild wolf chariot. A very fun pick. I like it quite a bit against Bretonnia actually. And some chevroned biggins, some more Spider Riders. So yeah, there's quite a bit of extra mobility here for the Greenskins. They have more mobility numbers, right, just from the Spider Riders and so on, but Knights of the Realm actually will trade very well, obviously, with Spider Riders. Spider Riders being one of the best light cavalry units in the game, can trade surprisingly well, especially with buffs, given their poison and everything else, but Knights of the Realm definitely have the stats to be able to take them on. The Stone Trolls, on the other hand, with their heavy armor, they're going to be a little bit tougher with the Sword of Corone from Lewin. That armor will be significantly debuffed, and the Knights of the Realm can potentially get a little bit of a better engagement, but here, Knights of the Realm pushing forward, being aggressive, going directly after Spider Riders, and because of the faster speed of Knights of the Realm in comparison to something like Empire Knights, that 75 speed means they can just about catch those Spider Riders at their 78 speed and pressure them very aggressively. Here, one of the Spider Riders is able to get into the back line, start pressuring, and we've got a big old pitched engagement here in the front line as the Holy Wardens rush in. Here come the Beaslayers of Bastogne. Gotrek's in here as well. You can see him getting in, and here come the Hippogriffs plus Lewin. Big old Sword of Corone being used as well. FG to the gate goes down on the Beaslayers, holding them back. All the buffs being popped on both sides, so just absolute madness here in the center. You can see the Ragnarok Queen's taking a lot of damage, but likewise, once the Trolls collapse, countercharge back in here, it's going to start to turn very quickly against the Hippogriff Knights and the Bretonnians there. Looks like, yeah, Sword of Corone just about worn off, but if we take a look kind of in the background, you can see that the Knights of the Realm are chasing off Spider Riders. Big Foot of Gork here on the archers. Actually ends up doing some okay damage, but now Knights of the Realm trying their best to secure this backline, while in the center, these Hippogriff Knights just get shredded with Wa active, with everything else going off. We've got Skulkers, Stone Trolls, Ragnarok Queen, Orc Biggins, everything here does damage to the Knights, and they just get absolutely destroyed. Beaslayers will continue to hold, though. Damsel Lore of Life also fighting, and of course, Gotrek's unbreakable, so he'll hold to the bitter end, but here, Knights of the Realm pressuring off these Wolf Chariots. I actually really like the Wolf Chariots against lighter infantry factions like Empire or Bretonnia, even if they might be heavy cavalry focused. If they're going to dedicate their heavy cavalry, like, it's good for the Knights of the Realm to chase these guys off, but they are a much cheaper unit, and so in the meantime, the Greenskins are able to continue pressuring with this big center force and just bum rushing over the rest of the Bretonnian army here. But the Knights of the Realm doing their work, kind of cleaning up with the periphery. That does allow these bowmen to come back as well, the peasant bowmen. And over here we've got a couple of Hippogriff Knights. Yeah, there's 3 Hippogriff Knights remaining that can maybe come back. Lewin's having a hard time getting back up in the air, but he should be able to squeeze loose once those Spider Hatchlings let him out. Spider Hatchlings don't have the best mass, although with the poison and such, they can definitely be annoying. Damsel getting routed off here. Gotrek still fighting, of course. Going to be wearing down the Greenskins forces wherever he is, but these Knights of the Realm coming back. Balance power still very even because of them. Here, these Hippogriff Knights rush down to try and bail Lewin out, and they are able to, which is definitely a worthy sacrifice. They're going to do some damage to the Stone Trolls, but the Stone Trolls, unless they actually drop models, they're not going to they'll be able to regenerate back that damage most likely, right? But the Hippogriffs holding pretty well here for a decent amount of time in sustained combat. Biggins maybe rushing in for support, but nope. One of the Hippogriff Knights goes down there. Did they actually take down any of those stone trolls? I don't think so. Nope, doesn't look like they actually killed any of the models, but Lewin dives down for a kind of final stand here, forces a really nice blob for the Knights of the Realm to now rear charge, so you can see them coming in true Rohirrim style to save the day. Getting a really nice rear charge here, and all it takes with Greenskins is a little bit of a terror route, right? And it starts with these Gobos. They don't like that. The Skulkers don't like that. The rear charge. These Beast Slayers also still holding here. We're going to get some Peasant Mobs now from the other side. So all of that combined is a lot of leadership damage for the Greenskins. You can see the Bowfire pulling in as well. Lewin's just barely able to squeak away. And other unit of Knights of the Realm now cycling in as the other one cycles out. Again, very nice impactful charge here. Even the 70 armor of the Stone Trolls will take a decent amount of damage. And the fact there's all this supporting infantry, Gotrek's also in here. He manages to mostly finish off the spider, so it routs. And then the leadership issue is real. All of a sudden, the Stone Trolls are routing, the Goblins are routing, even the Biggins are routing. Warzak's still holding with a handful of Biggins here, but the Trolls in particular getting routed there. The Knights of the Realm can now chase them off. Obviously, Knights of the Realm much faster. With their anti-large damage, they'll be able to consistently poke the Trolls as they run. And, yeah, very good stuff. In terms of I know when I was casting this live, once those Hippogriff Knights got devoured, I was like, this is probably over for Bretonnia, but very nicely done. The Knights of the Realm able to bring things all the way back here. I believe it's Ice Power playing, if I remember right. Ice Power is playing the Bretonians here. Yeah, great stuff. Stone Trolls, they are out of there. And Wurzag then, with no protection, just gets absolutely dumped on by Lewin and Gotrek. The Knights of the Realm cleaning up here. It's such a cool looking unit too. Like in terms of mid-tier cavalry, it's tough for me because I like the real heavy, like full plate of the Empire Knights. But these guys, definitely the brilliant colors. I love the Great Helms too. Very much kind of classic regalia, if you will. Some spiders rallying with Wurzag here. They're going to make their final stand, but the Knights of Bretonnia have come. They will be your shield. And in this case, they actually do very, very appropriately to the lore come in the late game. Save the day, save Lewin, not only Lewin, but the rest of the army there. So fun stuff, yeah. Ice Power there playing the Bretonians, Pugnoban with the Greenskins. Very fun game, nice back and forth, good plays on both sides. But yeah, those Knights of the Realm, man, 151, 119 kills. One of them started out with an XP Chevron, gained 2. The other one gained 3 throughout the course of the battle, which is one of the better games I've seen out of the Knights of the Realm. Cleaning up all those Spider Riders was a lot of value, plus the Wolf Chariots. I mean, if you actually sit down and think about it, that in and of itself is mostly paying for themselves, right? You kind of add it up, it's like 800, 800, plus you split up the cost of the Wolf Chariots, and all of a sudden it's, yeah, a little bit, just that in and of itself is cost effective, but then coming in the late game with that really nice rear charge, getting a huge leadership route, especially on the Trolls. Leadership is the biggest downside for Stone Trolls. They're a very powerful unit, but that is one of their few weaknesses, and yeah, that showed there. Even the Biggins too, like 121 kills there, 63. Got a lot of kills, 88 for Wurzag as well. But this wasn't quite enough at the end of the day. Gotrek also contributing very key damage on the Arachnarok Queen, of course, and Lewin also. But yeah, Knights of the Realm, if we kind of compare them to some different mid-tier shock cavalry, in some respects they're the best. They're not quite as defensive as something like Empire Knights, and that's probably, at least on this channel, the one that you'll see most often in this class, just because I tend to play Empire a little bit more than I play Bretonnia. Other comparable units, like we could take a look at High Elf Silver Helms, but for Knights of the Realm, the anti-large bonus does kind of set them apart in this category. 950 points as well, so they are 100 points more expensive than the Empire Knights, but you can see the stat differential. Knights of the Realm better in every respect except for melee defense and armor, right? And that kind of comes into the play there. They even have a little bit more HP to help compensate for that, but significantly. They have plus 20 charge bonus, which is kind of the whole point of shock cavalry, right? Yeah, minus 20 armor is a pretty big deal, but plus 5 speed as well is a nice difference. Or sorry, plus 9 speed rather, plus 5 leadership, more melee attack, weapon damage, and again that charge bonus, plus they gain anti-large, right? So Knights of the Realm just have a much higher damage output, and the higher speed means they can cycle charge and get away from certain units where the Empire Knights may struggle, especially in matchups where there's a lot of poison to be had, like, say, Greenskins or Lizardmen. So yeah, I would say Knights of the Realm, pretty clear advantage in that way. Again, Empire Knights a little bit cheaper and tankier, so they're more of like a blocking detachment than a true shock cavalry. Knights of the Realm are shock cavalry in the truest sense. And if we compare them to Silver Helms, we've got kind of two comparisons. We'll do the shielded one since that's the better version. 50 points more expensive than the Knights of the Realm, but Silver Helms, just better combat stats, less HP overall, same armor, and they're also slightly faster, just barely slightly faster, and sustained combat stats obviously slightly better, even without martial prowess. Martial prowess does make that pretty good, and in particular the melee defense at 42 on the shielded ones is quite nice for this price range, but the lack of armor and HP means they end up being less cost effective in a defensive role than, say, Empire Knights, and they lack the same damage output as Silver Helms. They're closer than the Empire Knights are. You can see 64 charge, 32 weapon damage, 9 AP, which is a very similar spread to what the Knights of the Realm have. 9 AP, or yeah, 9 AP also, but you do get the plus 10 bonus versus large. That slight little bit of extra charge bonus, and I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at the numbers, but I want to say that Knights of the Realm also have more mass than Silver Helms. It seems to me, and this is again just I can't confirm this at numbers. This is just purely through feeling, that the human cavalry tends to have a little bit more mass than elven cavalry, and Knights of the Realm, kind of in a direct comparison to Silver Helms, it seems like they have more mass. But you guys can let me know. You all want to double check that on Total War Warhammer stats, make sure I'm not completely full of it. But yeah, that's kind of the most comparable. There's a few other units that perhaps you could compare them to, like maybe Black Knights with lances or a few others, but honestly, I feel like these other cavalry are the best kind of comparisons. But yeah, definitely very solid in terms of matchups, especially if you're going to be facing a lot of lower armor stuff, or mixed armor even, if you can get the armor sundering of Sword of Corone. Likewise, because they're not super expensive, you can take them in builds where you don't necessarily bring Lore of Life, like Lore of Manticores, aka Lore of Beasts, especially very popular to use with like wide builds against, say, like Skaven or Greenskins even, Beastmen, stuff like that. They're somewhat weak to leadership and that you would maybe want to go wide against. Something like this with like 4 Knights of the Realm, support with Transformation of Kadan, of course. They do have the Regiment of Renown that has magic damage and causes fear, which is useful in certain matchups. The magic damage in particular, they've also got Encourage, which is nice. The magic damage in particular, I would say, is useful if you need like a discount Grail Knight almost. Then these guys are a good option to have. Matchups like Dark Elves maybe, where you might face a lot of physical resistance, definitely would be solid there. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Definitely a very fun game. Big thanks to Ice Power and oh geez, forgetting his opponent already, and Pugnobon, that's right. How could I forget? Big thanks to Ice Power and Pugno, and thanks to all of you for watching. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.